Hi everyone, this is Carolyn Speaks, the State of the World on Monday, June 21st, 2021. So what is it? Good, better, and different? Not good. We still have the coronavirus with us. Let's get on to a little bit of headlines for today. The UN General Assembly condemns the coup in Burma, but stops short of calling for arms embargo as crisis deepens. They did pass a resolution. The military coup was on February 1st, and in months of deadly crackdown on protests. However, the international body stopped short of calling for a global arms embargo against the Burmese military. Unfortunately, unfortunately. All right, so far 172 people have been killed by the military. We really need an arms embargo to stop this. That's the only thing that will stop it. Okay. Now, another, how about what's causing migration? Over 82 million people were forcibly displaced in 2020. A UN refugee agency reports that over 82 million people around the world were forcibly displaced by war, persecution, and the climate crisis by the end of 2020, a record high. The highest number of refugees came from Syria, Venezuela, Afghanistan, South Sudan, and Burma. The UN said the crisis could get even worse in 2021, with possible famines threatening displaced people. The report came ahead of World Refugee Day yesterday, Sunday. That's why people are coming to the border here and all over. So we have to do something about that. We have to keep people from being persecuted and from being targeted by war, and we have to stop the climate change. We have to make it go away by ending fossil fuel dependency and all kinds of stuff. So I'm hoping that things will get better. All right, now, authorities uncover the likely remains of missing indigenous activists 3 weeks after disappearance. They have found the remains of Tomas Rojo Valencia, a Yaqui indigenous leader who disappeared in the northern state of Sonora about 3 weeks ago. Valencia had been part of ongoing resistance by Yaqui land and water defenders against gas ducts, water pipelines, and railway lines that run across their territory. For months, Yaqui activists have led several highway roadblocks protesting attacks on their community. This comes as 2 journalists were murdered in Mexico last week. Enrique Garcia was killed on Wednesday night in the state of Mexico while he was reportedly working as a driver for someone. And Gustavo Sanchez Cabrera was shot to death in the state of Oaxaca on Thursday. So much for freedom of the press, huh? Well, Mexico has had problems for a very long time, and we keep blaming them for the immigration crisis at our border. But Mexico has borders with other countries too, so everybody's facing the same problems. We have to do something about that. Stop global warming. Stop doing the wrong thing for the earth. Okay, now, hugs not walls. Separated families briefly reunite at the U.S.-Mexico border. Nearly 200 separated families met along the U.S.-Mexico border Saturday for the 8th annual Hugs Not Walls event, which allows Mexican nationals with irregular immigration status the opportunity to briefly leave the U.S. to embrace their family members in Mexico. Jacqueline Sosa has not seen her sister and nephew for 3 years. The group's Border Network for Human Rights and Reform Immigration for Texas Alliance hosts the annual action, which highlights the ongoing devastation caused by inhumane immigration policies. Hey, if you are living in the United States and were born here, But your family immigrated here from somewhere else, like my family did. They came from Hungary before World War II. So I am a first generation American. And the war, uh, my parents came before World War II started, but World War II created a lot of refugees, as did World War I and all the wars. So if you're against immigrants, but and you're not an indigenous person of the indigenous peoples in the United States, then you can't be against immigrants. You're a hypocrite. So there. All right, now we have vaccine apartheid. There's a summit right now on vaccine internationalism, which demands urgent action to help the global South. Now that's something that's not new. There's been a push to end what the World Health Organization is calling vaccine apartheid, as many countries have yet to see a single COVID-19 vaccine shot amid mounting infections. We want an alternative to a system that has basically allowed for COVID-19 vaccines to be absolutely concentrated in the higher income countries, says a former health minister of Ecuador, who co-chaired this weekend's emergency summit on vaccine. Internationalism has vaccine access can be improved by expanding vaccine production in other countries that have developed vaccine candidates, but also having pricing that is based on solidarity. We also speak with coordinator of the Access BSA project, which campaigns for access to medicines in India, Brazil, and South Africa. And this person says the pandemic is now largely a developing country problem. Okay, so developing, but we have a lot of people, that's why people are coming here and fleeing their countries and going worldwide, because of climate change causing famines and crop failures, dangerous conditions like in South America, Central America, Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala, basically due to U.S. policies using these countries as source for resources and putting in dictators so they can control access to these resources indefinitely. The School of Americas is a group that has trained, continues to train the current and future, past, current, and future dictators of Latin America, trains them to keep their populations in check so that they can send the resources to the U.S. So if you want to know what the problem is, end colonialism. All right. Now, capitalist nations bailed out banks while skimping on funds to vaccinate humanity. More than 2.6 billion COVID-19 vaccines have been administered worldwide, but many countries have yet to see a single shot. 85% of vaccines administered worldwide have been to high and upper middle income countries. Only 0.3% of doses have been administered in low-income countries. G7 nations pledged to donate just 613 million new vaccine doses, far less than the 1 billion originally promised. That's really a shame, but that's really too bad, but that's the way it seems to be in the world. We have to end vaccine apartheid. So, what are we going to do about it, people? Call your representatives, tell them you want fairness, you don't want apartheid anywhere. Okay? All right, now, in elections, Socialist Pedro Castillo won Peru's election, but coup fears grow as his challenger, the one who's currently the president, claims fraud. That sounds like Trump. Trumpy. Trump, if you don't win, you claim fraud. And there's no evidence there's any fraud. So I'm hoping things work out for Peru. They deserve better, don't you think? And we have to do a lot better for everybody. Things aren't going to get better by wishing it away. Now, remember the election we just had in 2020 where 2 Democrats defeated 2 Republicans to create 2 new senators, Democratic senators, for the U.S. Senate. But now, the Georgia Secretary of State wants to purge over 100,000 people from the voter rolls. And he said he'll remove over 100,000 names from state voter rolls. Said most of the names were linked to a change of address or from residences where election mail had been returned to sender. Voting rights group Fair Fight Action warned the last time Georgia carried out a purge of voter rolls, the Secretary of State was forced to admit errors that nearly disenfranchised 22,000 people. Georgia's passage of a sweeping voting law in March that critics call the worst voter suppression legislation since the Jim Crow ever. Since then, Republican officials have removed at least 10 county election officials across Georgia, most of them Democrats and about half of them people of color. And the U.S. Senate is set to vote Tuesday in the Sweeping for the People Act, which Republicans are expected to oppose. No surprises there. Okay, now, all right, so hopefully things will get better in the world. I don't know. Things seem to be getting worse, not better. We need fairness all over. Have to treat each other fairly. It's not a fair world the way things are. Talking about apartheid, we had apartheid in South Africa. Now South Africa, it doesn't have apartheid, but it's the people who were under apartheid have not done that well. And now we have apartheid in Israel against the Palestinians. So things are not going well. Now, let's see if we can brighten the mood a little bit with a song. Okay, how about a little song for today? All right, the song I'd like to sing today is a song I wrote called Health. Health is wealth. You don't know you've had it until you lose it, so take care of yourself, 'cause health is wealth. Eat a well-balanced diet, drink lots of water, get plenty of exercise too, and rest, relax, no stress, no drugs, no alcohol, no tobacco either, and protect yourself from the sun, the wind, the heat, and the cold, 'cause health is wealth. You don't know you've had it until you lose it. Okay, that was Health, a little song I wrote. Hope you liked it. Thank you for tuning in this evening of Monday, June 21st, 2021. So another meeting with Caroline Speaks, State of the World. Hopefully you're back with us again tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay safe, take care of yourself, each other. Wear a mask, only go out when you have to, practice social distancing. And when the vaccine is available for you, and it's safe for you to take it, I would take it. And then and if that's what's going on, we can get vaccines to everybody in the world and stop this vaccine apartheid. We may be able to conquer this. And then we move on to the next virus that comes along. Okay, now, remember, take care of yourself and others. Remember, kindness goes a long way. Kindness goes a very long way. Thank you. Stay safe. Night. See you tomorrow, I hope.